discussion.
Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Liberian, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. We got the man for information and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. Good information. Information in talking and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. From Monday to Friday, Liberia. Seku Sherry coming to talk. From Monday to Friday, Liberia. Seku Sherry coming to talk. From Monday to Friday, Liberia. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Seku Sherry say, Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Sherry.
Seku Sherry coming to town.
Liberia, this is the mother of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to
Seku Sherry say.
Liberia, this is the mother of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, this is the boss of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say.
Liberia, this is the boss of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. Information and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. Good information. Information in talking and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say.
It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say.
Liberia, this is the boss of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say.
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, this is the boss of Liberia. It is time to talk. Labra, secretary coming to talk. Good information. Information in talking and education. Secretary coming to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Labira, listen to the father, Labira. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. We document good information and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, Seku Sherry coming to talk. Good information. Information in talking and education. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming to talk.
Seku Sherry say,
Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Seku Sherry coming.
Never you allow what they say about you to pull you down, because what they say about you is not what God decides for you. Good evening to the good people of Liberia. I want to say good evening to the good people of Liberia. And I want to say thank you to Allah for making us to return here today on the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia. It feels good always to return to do the Liberian people job. Loving your country, putting your country first is what we need to do as a patriotic citizens. Good evening to our good people of Liberia. And I want to say thank you to you for joining us again. Here we've converged to talk about the issues that matter to our beloved country. And so no matter what the issues are, Let us discuss it. Disagree to agree, but we should not go back to the butches. And so good evening and welcome to the show Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My name is Sekou Sharif, and we've converged again tonight to talk about important issues here on the radio. And we're going to be here up to 9 o'clock on the show tonight. We're going to be up to 9 o'clock on the show tonight. We're going to be on the show up to 9 o'clock. But let me give you the line-up of what we're going to be doing. Shortly, we go to the international desk to talk to our international correspondents. And so today we'll talk to our Sierra Leonean correspondent on the show. We'll go to Gambia to talk to our Gambian correspondent. We'll go to Ghana to talk to our Ghanaian correspondent. We'll go to Nigeria, and also we'll go to Cameroon on the show tonight so that we can speak to all of our correspondents to tell us what's happening in other parts of the world on the program tonight. So stick and still, don't touch your dial as we move into lots of issues here on the program, Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia. So at 8 to 9 tonight, we're going to play host to two guests. They will be from the Congress for Democratic Change, that's CDC. Both of them will join us here tonight on the show as to discuss lots of issues. We're going to, let me get this for you. We're going to have Mr. Randall Dobayu, who's from the Congress on Democratic Change. Mr. Dobayu will be our guest. He's going to be accompanied by another folks who's Guys Abba Davids. Guys Abba Davids and Randall Dobayu will be my guests tonight at 8 o'clock, straight up to 9 o'clock on the program. We're going to be discussing a post-thank you rally that was held recently in the country. And so they will join us here. We'll talk about that issue, talk about more other issues on the program at 8 to 9 o'clock tonight on the show. But before that time, there's this issue happened recently. I think it was on yesterday. That has to do with Councillor Gunglo, who's contesting to become the president of Liberia. We'll talk about it a bit. And on tomorrow, the president will be dedicating the Clariton Sport page. We'll also talk about that in a jiffy. And the Vice Tender Bureau of CPP, ANC for short, made a statement when she was interviewed on one of the local radio stations that Senator Lawrence should not attack Mr. Musa's ability, but instead she should be the one that they should attack. And she confirmed that she also voted to remove to remove them for the political party. And so we'll also talk about that as well on the show. And one of the main things we'll have a very deep discussion about is about some things happening. I don't know the folks in CDC, they are observing it, or what is it they're doing to have it under control. But we are observing people are playing dirty politics within CDC. People are playing dirty politics within CDC, and we're going to discuss that issue here, and we will name two of the many persons, and we'll let you know about it. We're taking a break. When we come back, We're going to dive into the issues right here on the show tonight, issues of today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My name is Sekou Sharif. Play another song. Okay, welcome back to the show after the break here tonight on the show. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Let's now move on to our international desk, where we'll talk to our international correspondents from across the world. The very first stop will be to Sierra Leone, where we'll talk to John Wayfield. Remember, there was a time in Liberia where Liberians said the government is not doing well about the airport where you had the people said, I think it was Brussels or Air France, they were suspending their flights from Liberia. So that was being politicized, where lots of people said lots of things about it. But listen to this, what is coming from Freetown, Sierra Leone tonight on the show. Yes, Freetown, Sierra Leone. So you have this report coming from Freetown, Sierra Leone that Air France International will suspend flight between Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and Freetown as of October the 31st, 2023. Why is it they're doing it? Our Sierra Leonean correspondent John Wayfield will fill us in with that development here on the show tonight, as to give us an update and a clear understanding about why the folks, mainly Air France International, wanting to cancel all their flights between Paris and that of Freetown and Sierra Leone as of October John Whitfield is a Voice of Liberia correspondent. We're making efforts to have him on the line to talk to us about this thing coming from Sierra Leone. In fact, how Sierra Leoneans are responding to the matter after they've heard about this decision that is about to be taken. What are they saying, and how are they responding to it? What are some of the things coming out from Sierra Leoneans in that area? How true or serious is the information reaching us from Sierra Leone? By the way, we're making efforts to have our Sierra Leonean correspondent on the line tonight. If we can have him, we're going to go to the Gambia, where we will talk to Amadou Kante about the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad. Recently, they held the National Assembly that there is a number of policy proposals and blueprints to be reformed and enhance Gambia's diplomatic foreign service. And so we're going to go to Amadou Kante, who's a Voice of Liberia correspondent in the Gambia. He joins us now. Amadou, good evening.
Hello?
Amadou, good evening.
Good evening, Amadou.
Amadou, good evening. Amadou, good evening. Okay. Let's go to somewhere else tonight on the show. We're going to go to Ghana. We want to sincerely apologize for what you just experienced on the show. We're going to go to Ghana to talk to our correspondent there, where a report released by the World Bank has revealed that high inflation rates in the 2022 has pushed an overwhelming 850,000 Ghanaians into poverty. This is we're gonna go to Ghana to talk to our correspondent there. Let's go to Ghana. And good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Sekou. Thank you for having me.
It's good to join us tonight on the show. Does the report reflect on the situation among Ghanaians in the country? Jonas?
Yes, Sekou, I can hear you.
I'm asking you, a report released by the World Bank has revealed that high inflation rates in 2022 has pushed an overwhelming of 850,000 Ghanaians into poverty. So I'm asking you, does the report reflect on the situation among Ghanaians in the country?
All right, so thank you so much, Sekou. The report, if I mean to describe it, I will even say it's even over-reflect what the situation is among the Ghanaian citizens. And I even like the way you put it, and overwhelming. You can see that, imagine a number of these out of 30 million Ghanaians. And these are out of a little number that was captured when the research was conducted. So it tells you how the situation is bad among the citizens. Yes, when it comes to poverty, and that is which is actually caused by the high inflation in the country, a lot of people as it stands now are struggling to actually even feed for like 2 days, 2 times in a day. And so the situation is actually so severe, and it reflects exactly what is on the ground. As we speak right now, there are a lot of people, like I said earlier, ideally as a human being, they're supposed to eat 3 times in a day. A lot of people, like one of the member of parliament put it, people do 1 out of 3, which means that we are supposed to eat 3 times, and you eat only just once in a day because you are not able to afford, and that is as a result of the hard economy that the citizens are facing.
What is the current inflation rate in Ghana, and how difficult is it for citizens to purchase goods?
Right, so the inflation currently, as we speak, is about 54.4%, which means that the last month, which was a month of June, when the Ghana Statistical Service conducted their research, inflation as at that time was 52.5. But in July, it has increased again to 54.5. That tells you that on daily basis, the prices of goods continue to go up. And because the economy is not so good, there's no money in the system, a lot of Ghanaians are not able to actually find it. Sekou, many people struggle to be able to purchase goods because, if your budget for the month is 1,000 Ghana cedis, and then at the end of the day, because of inflation, the 1,000 cedis that you have, that you are supposed to use it to spend for 1 month, you are likely to spend that same amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis within 2 weeks or even less. Because if you are going to buy some items, your money definitely will not be up, and that is as a result of the inflation. So as for that one, regardless of the class, the working class and the non-working class are all actually facing it. The only people I can say who are better in this regard, even though it is affecting everyone, is the political class.
Jonas, what can be done to alleviate citizens' plight?
So the only thing that can be done right now here is for the government to ensure that they work on the economy, and so they can push a lot of resources into the goods and services sector, the trade sector, so that, and especially where a lot of the goods are being imported into the country, unless they cut down the cost of the taxes so that the prices can actually come down, because the government is actually taxing so much, and which, as a businessman, when they tax you, they also push the tax onto the consumer or the customer, and that's where the problem is. So until they are able to revive the economy, ensure that they reduce some of the taxes and allow business to go through and give businessmen and women some kind of space and peace in their business, it will continue to show up like that, because even the Ghanaian cedi is not stable as against the US dollar. And for all international trades, it's the United States dollar that is being used. And so as the cedi also continue to fall, definitely businesses are going to be so hard, and the inflation will continue to go high.
Thank you very much, Junians Biarobi from Ghana on the program tonight for filling us in with that information from Ghana. We now go to Nigeria, where we're going to speak with Naomi Kumbenda on the economic crisis in Nigeria continuing to deepen with a spike in inflation as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has delayed the compensation of the Federal Executive Council 52 days after taking office. Naomi Kumbenda is Voice of Liberia, Nigerian correspondent. Naomi, good evening. Thank you tonight for joining us on the show.
Good evening, Sekou. Thank you for having me.
Can you bring us to speed with the development where the economic crisis in Nigeria continued to deepen with a spike in inflation as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has delayed the compensation of the Federal Executive Council, after 52 days taking office?
Okay, thank you, Sekou. So the special advisor to the president on National Assembly matters today confirmed to newsmen that the president is yet to forward his ministerial nominees to the National Assembly. But commenting on the situation, another president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, one Francis Moshe, said that the delay in the announcement of the president's cabinet was becoming a cause for concern. According to him, with regards to appointing cabinet members that will oversee organized private sector, it was becoming crucial to know who the president picks. He will now put put round pegs in round holes instead of picking the wrong people. So people are really worried why the president has delayed the appointment so far up till now, when it's 2 days for his 60 days to elapse.
How does the delay in the composition of the Federal Executive Council cause economic crisis in the country, as well as a spark in inflation in Nigeria?
And so, you see, the Deputy President of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry said that it was important for the president to appoint cabinet members with not just the correct credentials, but also the character that is needed to decisions to make, and also to organize the business sector. But you understand too that without the appointment of a Minister of Chamber and Commerce and Trade, it is slowing down business activities and economic activities in the country. And when there is no control, there is no price control, there is no one in the leadership, there's definitely going to be a cause for inflation. That's why the inflation is on the rise. There is no one to call the shots. There is nobody to say no to anyone inflicting the inflation on Nigerians.
What are the reactions from Nigerians?
So it's a very delicate matter, especially for those who are party faithfuls. You know, those who are APC supporters are saying, "Oh, the president has not brought the ministerial list yet, but he has a couple of days to bring the list, because he has 60 days after the oath of office to present the list of ministers." But up to now, he has not brought the list. But they're saying he still has some time, that it's not yet late for him to present the list. So Nigerians should calm down. People should stop shouting at Tinubu. And so there are mixed reactions, really. Party supporters are saying it's okay, while others are saying it's really not okay for him not to have brought the list up till now.
Thank you very much, Naomi Kombenda, for that report from Nigeria on the program tonight. We now go to Cameroon to talk to our Cameroonian correspondent, Alfonso Tibek, where some 3 international non-governmental organizations championing the advocacy for the rights of journalists around the world have penned a submission calling for the protection of journalists in Cameroon. Why is it they saying such is based on what background they've said such? On the line is Alfonso Tibek. He's our Cameroonian correspondent. Alfonso, good evening.
Good evening, Sekou. Thanks indeed for having me once more.
Could you tell us more about this summation of some 3 international non-governmental organizations championing the cause for advocating for the rights of journalists around the world, which they've submitted, calling for the protection of journalists in Cameroon?
Yes, Sharif, this submission was actually sent to the United Nations on last Tuesday by Freedom House, as well as the Committee to Protect Journalists. And this report actually points out that Cameroonian journalists are, facing tremendous challenges as they pursue reporting, especially in the midst of the Anglophone conflict, which has been ongoing now for more than 6 years. That is in the countries northwest and southwest, which are minority territories of Cameroon. So this submission actually comes up nearly a year after a journalist was abducted and killed, in Yaoundé, known as Matne Zogo, and his mutilated body was found some 5 days later. So this submission, Sekou, highlights the killing, physical attacks, abduction, torture, and also harassment of journalists by Cameroonian police, intelligence agencies, military, and as well as non-state actors that continue to have a severe chilling effect on the Cameroonian press.
The summation also noted, Alfonso, that Cameroon remains on the list of worst jailers and prosecutors of journalists in sub-Sahara Africa. What do you have to say about this?
Indeed, for the past few decades, there have been large number of journalists who have been killed in Cameroon. Over the last one decade, we've had several journalists who have been forced into exile. 2 journalists have died in government custody, and they died actually under suspicious circumstances since 2010. And most recently, we have these journalists killed in January 2023. And in addition, 2 other journalists' deaths are being still investigated by the Committee to Protect Journalists. So this report has actually, is trying to hold the Cameroon government accountable for the lives of a number of journalists who have been killed, those who have been in jail so far. And there have been a plethora of media outlets that have been shut down within the past 1 decade. But the reality on the ground is that there are journalists on the ground who are now scared to report about politics, to talk about the Anglophone crisis, because they are afraid from being targeted by either side. So if you look at the report deeply, there are arbitrary imprisonment of journalists, which this is actually coupled with incommunicado, as well as lengthy pre-trial detention that has made Cameroon the second worst jailer of journalists in sub-Saharan Africa after Eritrea.
Thank you very much, Alfonso Tibek from Cameroon, tonight on the show for that report coming from Cameroon. We're going to go back to Gambia and that of Sierra Leone, but let's go to the Gambia first and see as well we can talk to Amadou Kante on the program tonight to see as well we can rejoin Amadou, where the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambian.
Unavailable.
Okay, so let's see as well we can get this. If we can have Amadou, we will go now to I don't know why we always say it is. Okay, so we're trying to go back to the Gambia and see as well we can get Amadou. If we can, then we go to Sierra Leone and see as well we can speak with John Wayfield on the program tonight. Issues of today is what you're listening to on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My name is Sekou Sharif, and we're trying to conclude with our international correspondence, reaching out to where you can reach so easily is what we do here. So we're trying to see as what we can go to okay, let's go to Sierra Leone. Let's go to Sierra Leone to talk to John Wayfield on the program tonight, where Air France International they've announced that they will suspend flight between Paris Charles de Gaulle and Freetown as of October of this year. So John Wayfield is Voice of Liberia Sierra Leone correspondent. We're trying to make efforts with John tonight on the show to talk to him about this. And like I said to you, it is a similar thing that happened, yes, in Liberia recently, where Air France said they were suspending their flights, and people politicize it, people term it, people say all kinds of things about it, and there are lots of things being said. So this is what we're hearing from Sierra Leone. We're making our efforts to have John Wayfield on. I don't know what's happening with John, and so we're trying to see as well we can speak to John on this matter, and we can call it a day if we have John to speak to us on this matter concerning this news coming from Sierra Leone on the program tonight. Right, we're trying to get him as soon as we get him on. We would join in. I don't know what's happening with John and Amadou tonight, but we will still make efforts, maybe during the program, to have them to report the news from Sierra Leone. Is very, very important. We want to, because sometimes people use Liberians, use Sierra Leone at times to go get flight, to leave, and all kinds of things, all of that. So we're making efforts. If we can have him, then we call it a day, and then we'll move on tonight to move on to something else on the program. John Wayfield is a Voice of Liberia correspondent, in the Sierra Leone, but we're finding it difficult to get in tonight on the show. So with that, we said, I think we need to go on the show. We hope to have him doing the news, our major news tonight. So he will be okay. Let's go on now. Let's leave. Let's go on. There are lots of things, happening in Liberia. Like I've always said, I want to talk about this thing concerning Councillor Gonglo. It is the right of every citizen to protest, but I think before you protest, there are procedures that you follow to protest. You can protest to call the attention of the government or your direct representatives to do what you think they should do in your interest. I think it is the right of everyone. But also, I want to say, looking at this crucial time of our country, you that is asking the people to elect you to lead the country as the next president of Liberia, I don't think it is necessary for you to be putting people in the streets. Mind you, if you think you are loved by the people, you have a very short time for them to prove to you that how they love you. How many times in Liberia that protests change national issues? I'm not talking about, other local protests or whatsoever, but they change national issues immediately. And I want to condemn those of the people that stoned or went to attack. We need to desist from these kinds of things. Like I always say to people, we can disagree to agree, but we should not be violent. Those of the people that went out and do what it did to Councillor Gonglo and his team, I think the law should take its course. Let us stop doing things of such. We're moving towards a critical period in Liberia, and we cannot allow, violence to be the order of the day, where people will not be, people are not free to do certain things at a particular time. I think that was wrong on the part of those of the people that were engaged in the violent act against Councillor Gonglo and his team. But like I said, Councillor Gonglo as a learned lawyer, one of the persons that Liberia can boast of. My own little advice to you, Council. I don't think it is time to be doing protests, because you don't have that enough of time to do more protests. When will you take to talk to the people to make them to understand that you've got the solutions of the country? I think by now you should be telling the Liberian people, what do you have? How do you intend to transform this country? If ever you will even have a very serious number within the upcoming elections. So, and I said to myself, it is this, students always, even though you see the people in SUB, all the other student groupings, they have their own interest in political institutions. Some of them are supporting the opposition. Some of them are supporting the government. But they act as if to say they are students, and so they make they carry out press conferences that influence some other issues in the country. And it looks as if to say, the students and everything, but they have their own side. So I'm seeing the way Councillor Gonglo is doing his engagement, his political issues, are similar to what these student politics would do. You want to do things on the sympathetic way. Get broom. Go on the street. You say you want to sweep corruption. You say you want to go to this place. You want to do this. Yes, good. But we want to ask, how serious is Councillor Gonglo for the presidency? Has he reached across the country to know about the problems the people face? Right? Have you gone across the country to know what is your track record? I'm not talking about, they say the poor man lawyer, you advocate for what. What is the track record of your involvement about things in the country? Not that legal aspect, but on the leadership aspect to know the problems the people faced and how you intend to solve the problems. As for me, the Constitution gives everyone the right to contest. It is his constitutional right, and that should be respected. But I don't want to take Councillor Gonglo as maybe this word will not be a reference word as a serious. But I don't want to take what he's doing to be anything that will give him even 5% of votes in the upcoming elections, though. I think he knows that. But sometimes they will come into the process and say, you know what? Let us use this means to sell ourselves. Let us use this means to make the people to know that we have our intention. And then maybe other bigger elections that will come, and then we can fit into it. That could be another political strategy, which is not wrong. Because by now, I don't think any political institutions will want to be calling for protest. Because the time you take into call for protest and all the kinds of things, you need to be engaging. Councillor Gonglo is not a rich person to say, oh, he has that support, that you have a very strong campaign team, a very strong campaign process, He wants to appeal to the sympathy of the Liberian people, which is not bad. It's a strategy by itself. And so at the end of the day, you will understand that most of the political things will be right around here. It will be on the level of getting the people that will say, oh, yeah, man, they may really want, but even though he knows that he can win elections, though. He can win elections. That, okay. This news has been filtering around that Mr. Ure is contemplating or we soon join the CDC. For those of you who don't know the history, I think Mr. Ure has been with CDC. And so going back to CDC, I don't think it will be something bad. When you have your child and the child decides to leave the home and go live out, and when that child decides to come back to live in the house without any bad character or, that he's coming with that problem in the home, every parent will want to accept that child and embrace them and teach them the best way forward. So it is within the case of Mr. Ure. Mr. Ure is the political leader as far as we're concerned for ALP. So he decides where he wants to go. Even though most of the political pundits to say, even the executive members of ALP will not support him into some other decisions. I'm not talking about joining CDC though. So Mr. Ure has had a relationship or history with the CDC. Henry has had a relationship with the CDC. But let me tell you this. Mr. Ure could be much more better to have a face when he wants to join the CDC, when he wants to join any other political party or support, not join, sorry for a better word, to support any other political parties, which is his constitutional right. But there are few things that will be questioned. When person like Henry wants to join a CDC, you know, like I've said this off the radio, and I'm going to say this today on the radio. Because of self-ambition and so greedy for everything for himself, Henry has made for himself his days on radio to be an advocate as he has always claimed, and his decision he made to enter into politics, he has killed everything. I don't know, it's a game that was being played on him, or it was something, but if it was a game that was being played on Henry, those of the people that played the game, they succeeded. They damaged Henry the way they wanted to damage him. Because it is all because of money. He's money driven. He goes for money. Once it is about money, Henry can do anything about it. So now, why I say it will be difficult, and it won't be a good sign for Henry when he decides to join the CDC. Number one, nobody will take him serious. He will not be trusted. He won't be somebody to work with. He will not have the face to convince anybody to vote for President Weah. He's not the person to work with because he's not that person that sees things the way it benefits other, but he wants it to be for himself. So this man went on the radio. This man said all the worst things. Then how do you come back? You know, he did the same thing 2017. And he did not know that the Unity Party, they were not taking him serious. And at a certain point in time, I don't want to blame Unity Party for whatsoever they did to Henry. They were right. But it tells you that Henry, he's a young man, but he thinks very low. Listen, no intelligent young man of such age will behave and do things the way Henry do them. You know why? You cannot be the same person that used all the harsh words and made people to believe and understand that this man is not fit to become a president. He doesn't have what it takes to become a president. You said all the things about the man. You said the man are controllable. Then in few years, you come back and you are whining and dining with the same man. I want to constantly think about his self-security or how he feels about it. How does he carry his life? That being stupid on the part of Henry. He shows stupidity. You think who would take you serious? This man, once it is about money, I'm talking it because I know. Once it is about money, you can control this dude called Henry. You can use him the way you want to use him once it is about money. And this is what the Unity Party did to you. You have your constitutional right to join any political parties you want to join or to support them. But you are no longer valued. You sold yourself cheap. You are out of the picture. People don't take you serious. So now you see, You fought all the political institutions and political individuals. You fought Unity Party now. You fought ANC. You said all the worst things about Cummins. You fought the CDC. Who do you want to go to? All the other political parties, they are all kekele political parties. You don't have any serious things among them. So now you see, I'm saying this to mean that those of the people that are saying that, ALP wants to pledge our support to CDC, yes, it's not a bad thing. Mr. Ure has a record with the CDC. And if he wants to go back to his old home, I don't see anything to be bad. Like the president said, he did an open apology to those of the people that left. But mind you, even though the president said you can come back, yes, people at Ure will come back for the level, even though Ure, he saw it from another point. But Mr. Ure did not go to the extent to have caused more damage or damages as compared to Henry. Hey, Duke, even when the people want you to join CDC, you join CDC, they will just use you. Be honest with you. Henry, you join CDC, they will just use you. Just how they use you in Unity Party. You think, say, Unity partisans were taking you serious? Many times I had discussions with people in Unity Party. And some of the things they said, they were the things that happened to you. They said yourself would decide to leave Unity Party. They were using, and I have seen more of you use, he said, the old man is sickening, the old man is weak, the old man is dead man walking, he cannot do this, nobody should take him serious. In fact, he cannot do that. Yeah, you say all the things about the old man. Then you come back again. So you see how you are very inconsistent? You are not a consistent person. Number one, you say these things about people. When they gave you money, you feel fine, you be with them. When that support is no longer coming, you turn and you go against them. So you own a whole thing. How do you be an advocate and all that you advocate for, it is about yourself. If you don't have it, it becomes a problem. No, I'm saying this though, because I want to say this to Henry. That Henry, you no longer have a space. You know what you need to do? You need to get yourself off. Either you try somehow, some way, even you come back, records will tell people that you've not been that good person, or you are not that person to speak the way at times you speak, as if to say you're speaking for the sake of the Liberian people. Look at how the Unity Party used you. You come up and make, yes, some of the things you said, they were truth. I don't want to say, they were not truth. Some of the things you said, they were truth. But how do you think, how you were thinking in your own red mind that Unity Party could really take you serious? That they could take you and give you serious positions? Or make you to be someone that will be a decision maker? How? How do you think? How did you, Henry, as an educated man, how did you sit by yourself and think about that thing before made a decision to say, you will support Joe Boakai? You know why? By supporting Joe Boakai or the opposition, Henry and the likes of the other people felt they were doing this to the president. That was we join the force, that will go against the president, that will do this. Let me tell you, the blessing of God is upon the president. He doesn't go around and what and everything. Mr. President was very consistent when he wanted to become president of this country. He did not jump from CDC, go to another political party, do another thing, and you come and say that it is being prophesied that you will become you've won a district election before you come and be president or you be vice president. It is your self-ambition, so power greed, that is what's suffering you, Henry. And one of my good friends in the media today were talking. He said, but Henry damaged himself. Oh. I said, but that man, he's finished. In as much we will lash at each other, we'll do everything and all of that, but we are all in the same field. I pity your condition. And this is the same thing, folks. You know, when I say these things, this man is not someone to take serious. This man, months or years ago, he was the same person sitting on radio saying all the worst things about Ali or Foreign National that owns BMC. He said all the worst things. And in fact, he insulted the president and said, oh, the president, they are giving all the contracts to BMC to do and all of that. Do you know that the same Duke was being paid when we're on the case with Ali? He had the guts to sit and say that he had a recording and everything, and they are challenging to release it. So I'm telling you of what I know. So how did he come to a point now to see Ali to be a decent man? It tells you once you can pay the money, he doesn't care. His character is nothing. This is the guy. And I told someone, I won't waste my time because I knew all the things that could happen to Henry. How it was being calculated. How the people in Unity Party were not taking it serious. The people told us, they said Henry himself will leave Unity Party. they say he will leave Unity Party. So I'm saying to those of the people that are saying that, oh, you know, the people want to join CDC. Mr. Ure has a record of CDC. And I don't think it will be a problem or it will be something that will draw Mr. Ure into. There's nothing. And I want to respect Mr. Ure on this thing. Mr. Ure politics is not like the way the other people do it, attacking you, saying the worst things about you, denigrating you, and all of that. So he's going to have a face to go back to the CDC. You know, Mr. Ure is a good friend to those of the people in CDC. Mr. Ure has been a good help to seditions of the CDC party. And the government has been nice to Mr. Ure. So there's no problem to go. But you know what? My brother will not have the face. Maybe he will operate under the water. You will not have the face because he has damaged himself. You think, let me tell you something. I know people in the government that are doing business with Henry. I know people in government that are doing business with Henry. But like I said, they don't take him serious. He's not being taken serious. Because somebody will say, oh, you know what, my man, we made a man to have a press conference and we gave some money and everything. He does that. That's the man right there. So he will not have the face. What would be your saying this time around to say, okay, you come and pledge your support to CDC? What would be your saying? How will you defend the things you said? So it says to you that the people, they know that Mr. President is doing well, but it is because of self-greed that they make up stories to make people to believe that the government is not doing well, using propaganda. Even though our good friends in the government, some of them that are supposed to do things, you know what some of our friends in the government do? They pay journalists to protect themselves. They don't care about what the people protecting the president. They don't care. They are bulk of the people in the government I know. They pay journalists on a monthly basis to protect themselves, not to protect the presidency or to protect the government or to say the good things about the government. What they do, they pay money to journalists to protect themselves as individuals, as ministers. I know some of them that usually pay Henry on a monthly basis. I know them. But it is not what I want to discuss. It is what they want to do. And they control their budget. That's their business. Who they want to give that money to, it is their business. But it is unfair. You don't do that. You should be able to promote the entire government, not you as an individual. Because if the government is not successful, you cannot be a minister of where you are. So, I'm saying this, and I've been waiting on this day. No one should take, and no one, and in fact, not no one should. No one is taking Henry serious any longer in this country. Because his political, his advocacy, or what he has died down because his self-seeking power greed for money or whatsoever has destroyed him. Do you know how many recordings people got on Henry discussing money, wanting to get money for this other deal, want to go on radio and say this thing for money and do the other things? Do you know? Do you know how many recordings do I have in my possession about this dude negotiating for money with some of the people in the government? The man has no character. I'm saying that look at the type of man that will go sit on radio and go say worse things about the president. Oh, the president this, the president that. Then this is the same man. If CDC looking for people, yeah, you can accept anybody. But my brother Costa, you go there, they're not taking you serious because you're not serious. You know the party man do you. That will do you. Yeah, you looking at phone box. Everybody will come. You free. Drop you lating. You okay with it. You satisfied. Then you go again. You thought you made yourself a little stupid. What they do to you? I mean, I let away. You know the party treat you. Go to ANC now. And if you don't I saw my big brother Musa ability posting some good things about, even though he used to say other words about the man, posting some good things, say, everyone will talk. Go to ANC. What the face you are, who will take you serious? They'll say, but my young man, you know what you want in the country here. Every day you hear. Yeah, when you get one Jew, all days, all kind of thing, everything. You go so you see what you go so you see what. That is it. Let me take a few calls on this issue, then we transition. But there's something very important, folks, I want us to talk about. And I want us to be honest to ourselves tonight after the calls. 07709079070 07709079070 08809079070 08809079070 About the few things we just discussed, what do you have to say? Hello?
Hello, my brother. How are you, sir?
Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Claire, and I call from District 14.
Go ahead.
Okay, normally I like to monitor the radio, and I just don't like calling, but sometimes I always like to listen. Well, you struck some salient points this evening that got me actually on my feet to call. Costa, as a young man, has or had so many followers, because Costa, that this young guy was somebody who was so brilliant in ideology, and he was well-spoken, and he was making some Google points, But come to think of it, man, you can be a young man, right? And you badmouth almost everybody.
Yeah. And then you go to them and get in the dark, you go do business with them.
Yes. What kind of young man are you? People are taking you to be their idol, right? But those are bad examples of a young man. You insulted George Weah, you insulted Joseph Walker, you cost almost everybody. Then you go behind the scene. You want money, so do what? I just don't understand that mentality.
Yo.
Seriously, I just want to say Costa is a failure, seriously.
Yeah.
Because I got my kids who thought he was the savior, and he was their savior. But come to think of it, today most of them are saying wrong things about his Costa.
Yeah.
And I said, thank God my kids are saying that thing. Because if I, the old man, were going to jump to the front to start saying that, then they would have thought that I hate him. So you are right. I just called to say thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. But that's the truth. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Brother.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, just one need Robin.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to please advise Brother Costa to go back to America and tell the foreigners that Liberia is not safe. you can be in your country that is not safe. So let him go back to the safe country and leave your children alone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me take this. Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Good evening, Sebu.
Good evening.
My name is Ivan Smith, and I call from the rehab community. Sebu, I always follow the show. More often, I call you sometime and discuss. The last time, I think you remember me telling Sonny about Waga, some in the team area, what it does here. But however, I just want to let you know that you see, Costa is a man that already damaged his political career, and he thinks what he's doing all the time, he thinks it's benefiting him. This is a man that can win this receipt. This is a man that contested this receipt that can even come second or third after he has on the radio station, on the air every time, saying all kinds of things about Ellie. So this kind of man, we're not giving him credit. We know we don't have time for those kind of people. Even if having to come in the party, when we accept the part, you have seen somebody accept your son and don't accept the part. That's what will happen. We accept the part and then don't accept the son. And when the son comes, we change the go. So when the father want to go along with the son, fine. The two brothers can go. But if the father is coming back, we change it, we accept you.
Yeah.
Because you are an elderly man, but your son is rude.
Yeah.
So we're not accepting because the president we say, the president we elect here, not a rude person, he's tolerant.
Yeah.
So we're not elect somebody that is arrogant. Thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. Let me take this person. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Let me say, my name is Mawedion, and I joined my capital shop this evening to be precise in Tobo Village, District 13. You see, Mr. Sherry, the issue of COSA and that of the how do you call it, you see, Mr. Sherry, in politics, the one pre-Johnson, you know what that pre-Johnson now is the one that the Liberia party are dressing with. And then you see Eugene Falcon is the one today that the Liberia party are dressing with. And if you see Costa what we CDC before. Bena Ure what we CDC before. But because of I don't know, grief or to have their own party that how they left. But you see, for me, the senior president, we are told all the go money on the seat. President, we are saying, while we had somebody before, they should come back. While somebody had us before, they should come back and listen to that message.
Yeah, but listen, you can agree for somebody to come back, but at certain thing they will hear you just keep them, but you're not taking zero.
I agree. I agree, Mr. How do you call it? Mr. Sharif. You see, for Costa to come back to CDC, for me, I will appreciate it. Because today, if Costa say he will support the party, they will be very happy. If Costa say he will support ANC, they will be very happy.
No, but you're not understanding my point here. I'm not saying he can support people, but if he's supporting anyone, they won't take him serious because of what he has done to himself.
We agree, Mr. Sharif.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother. Let's take other calls. Hello.
Yeah, Sharif.
Good evening.
How are you?
Go ahead, sir.
This is Sam Mayor, man from Newbury. You know, people like Costa in this country, they are not people who need to take serious.
Sure.
And I know that curse behind, but you know, thank God they got a hiding place, right? When you get tough, you go back to America. And you were telling all that, bro, we're not safe. In fact, people suffering. That the see country people suffering in today, you want to come back here? We will reconcile with him because we see this here, we don't have problem with people.
Yeah.
They country for every one of us, but we'll never take it serious.
Thank you. Nobody will take that. Henry is not a serious man. Hello. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, Sebu.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Samson here. I call you from Banana.
Okay, Samson, go ahead.
I want to go straight to Mr. Costa issue. You know, Sebu, going to school, like nothing, getting an idea, like nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he only went to school for the idea in there. So right now he's confused. And if every contest for community chairman, he carries a winner position.
Mm-hmm.
So right now the only thing he do, maybe he should just go open farm or his village. To just go sit down there. I got to say thank you.
Thank you very much. This person. Hello. Good evening. Let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, this is Alvin Wuzin and I want to question the thing from Togo.
Alvin, go ahead.
You know, simple, easy and sleeping, and post back. Some of us in CC, we are not going to take him serious. Basically, if you are in an institution and you are not a serious man there, that's the reason you being there. So, would that be like a political competitor for us? We will use him.
Yeah, you just use, I had been looking. You're not serious, man.
We will use him as all people been using him to get propagate the message. So, he will be almost like a megaphone for all. We will use him as a megaphone. So, if he's coming back, we will welcome him, but let him know he's coming back as a political megaphone.
Thank you very much. Political megaphone. Thank you. Hello. Yes, move from your monitor, please.
Yeah, you see, I don't call the man I call on your show just one. But it's constant damaging vision.
Mm-hmm.
What you saying? You're too young. First thing when he started, I used to admire him. But due to his utterance, he abused the elders. He shot old people too much.
The man has fought everybody.
Coming back, so let me tell you, constant damaging vision. You have to go back and reconcile. You need to pray. You need a delivery. Because even when you come back to CDC will accept it. There will be a moderate to him.
Yeah. But what will he say now to people?
Because even for me, I told most of the United Party men, what will you take this man as serious man?
No, but listen, United Party, they were real. You can't blame you can't blame the United Party people, they were real. The problem here, any man insulted them before. They brought the man, the man clean all that insults and they dashing.
I got angry with Kosa insulting the woman I hear today about it. They stand back again telling people that he is incompetent and the best person.
Yeah.
So, you see yourself, it's like even to my working son until he got, I'm not taking it serious. He's inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's a man that he go to school, but I don't know where he need a thing, man.
Okay.
He need a thing.
Thank you very much. 2 more minutes to take calls and then we transition. Hello. Yes, good evening.
Yeah. My name is Henry. I was calling for Tacoma City, Bombing County.
Yes, Henry, go ahead.
Okay, so the issue of Manisha, he came in hearing, I came in hearing too.
Okay.
Ambassador Willa is a man that is going to be a fellow. I'm a special man. Whenever you put more on Ambassador Willa, that has sometimes, you can be. For me, if Kosa decide to come back to the CDC, I would love that we welcome him back. Because man, you need to have people that
no, but nobody's saying that he can't go. Me and not CDC, nobody can say but what I'm saying here, he will not be taken serious because he has sold his character for little or nothing.
Yeah, but you know that nobody takes serious because of I remember looking at that with especially people that be having trust issues. Because they kind of win, when you talk with them, anytime I have a conversation with him, I'll be afraid because you record it and tell it again, to expose them. So, I just want to use the time, to encourage them. But man,
no, but I don't buy. You think we need? My man, that man, that's serious man.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening, Virgin Sheikh Sharif.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Franklin and Kambara. Prefer to be called Invisible Pen Pusher. Yeah, first Virgin, let me say thank you for your talking point this evening. Firstly, let me say, Aaron Costa lost credibility in this country. He lost regard because when Ruth Evans was in existence, he was still finding it difficult to win the Liberian people because at that time, you were still having the existence of veteran Sheikh Sharif Khan or whatever Khan. When you were there, you criticizing the government. For at that time, veteran Sheikh Sharif, when you were with Peter Evans, at that time was discussing the booty of the president. So right now, now you have a own station. He say against the government, went to opposition. The opposition like claim to love now. He going against. So who some man, who the some person better just let them carry it on because first of all, nobody will trust him with any of the major secret because you know that one day our character to be called him a person will come out one day and expose that person. Nobody can be nobody will not hold him honestly because I credibility you are having he lost it. So now you have a critical voice. So now the critical voice will get always a very Chevy these are people that have integrity. So everybody don't have integrity anybody in the country. So you just see people
Thank you very much. The last caller here will transition. Hello. Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening. Sir, you're breaking. What's your name? Yeah, you say your name?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you. You say your name?
Okay, thank you, Sharif. You know, Henry is a very good propagandist, but the way he saw himself, it's just that those days we used to play football. Sometimes when you ask you to say that, you don't say that they consider you as government boot. So Henry is just considered as a government boot. And that's how he will be used just as the way you be handled and
they say when you put yourself in the tomato cup, they'll dish you or what? They'll dish you like they'll dish you with Bruce.
Hello?
Yes.
You hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking, but go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Henry is just considered a government boot. And that's how he go, the hard he will be used.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me say thank you. And I think we all discuss it, and it is very important. It makes a lot of sense about Henry issue. Nobody trying to dignify him here. He's not to be dignified, but it's just the truth that we've said, and it is something that we always say to the people. He's no longer, he's not that serious person. He has never been that serious person. Okay, folks, there's something. Immediately, this is to you, seditionists. Recently, CDC ended her primaries across the country. It affords the opportunity to seditionists that wanted to contest on the party's ticket to encourage those of the voting populace to go ahead, encourage them to vote for them in the primaries that just ended. There's no law that supersedes the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, but there are partisans' commitments to show that you love your party. In any individual that will claim to be a party respecter, you will now want to do things out of the party's mandate. I'm not saying if it is a wrong thing, you go do it because it is a party mandate, though. There's this guy by the name of Mansayon. I'm trying to get the last name. He works at the Ministry of Finance. He is the current HR of the Ministry of Finance. There's this minister by the name of Margaret. She's one of the ministers at the Ministry of Information. Now, what I say I want to bring to your attention, fellow Liberians. Of recent, CDC held primaries across the country, like I said, and you all know of it, there are people that were elected on the tickets from various districts and county at large. In District number 9, Montserrat County, Mount Zion, who is the HR of Finance Ministry, registered, contested to run on the CDC ticket. He's a sedition. To run on the CDC ticket as the candidate the CDC will carry for the upcoming October elections. And you have the current incumbent of the district in person of Honorable Frank Safoko and other names, other individuals registered. And you know, I know the just ended primaries of CDC was conducted in an open manner, free, fair, transparent. No one will say they were cheated. All what they did was live on the television. Various televisions were there. So it gives a clear picture of what the people did. Seditions, supporters of the government, sympathizers of CDC. I want you people to listen to this tonight. You know, I can see things far ahead. I try to bring it to the attention of the people. If they listen, good. If they don't listen, fine. But I will continue to play my role. So, you know, in all processes, there will be people that will always see things differently. Even though most of the things that Mount Zion is claiming, he had a press conference. And I don't want to play here because it doesn't make sense. He had lots of things to say about the process. He had lots of things to say about the Secretary General of CDC and all of that. So what has he done? This man is a supporter of CDC. He gone to the extent he registered as an independent candidate. Listen to me. You're listening and listening well, fellow Liberians. He had gone to register and he's being registered as an independent candidate who's going to be contesting in District number 9 against the CDC candidate. The Ministry of Finance is headed by Samuel Twe, the Finance Minister of the Republic of Liberia. The HR position is not being appointed by the president. It is the ministers that appoints the HR. Listen. The government, it is the CDC government, and you have somebody that is working with Minister Twe, under Minister Twe, and this person is fighting CDC. Up to present, nothing has been done. Minister Twe has not been able to intervene. You know, sometimes these are some of the things when people talk, they say, oh, Seku this, Seku that. Your things say, I freaked some of these things. You say, because you say, oh, me and Seku talk this, or Seku get issue, or always Seku is angry. No, I'm not angry. What I hate is about the things that you people can do. But for the Liberians, it doesn't make sense. This man has his constitutional right. But listen, we're talking about a major election here. You know what's going to happen? Individuals from the political party that are supposed to be bringing more support. Let me give you this analysis. if Representative Frank Safoko in District Number 9 is to focus on the campaign of his re-election and the president re-elections, looking at Mensayon, who is a sedition, working at the Ministry of Finance, serving as HR. His boss is Minister Samuel Twe, who enjoys everything about the CDC government, is contesting in that district, that the CDC government is supporting in that district. And Minister Twe cannot tell this man, no, but listen, politics is about interest. So, if Frank Safoko, who is the current representative, is to go and run campaign and let the people know in District Number 9 that it is important to vote the president, and he has another internal battle where a sedition is fighting another sedition, but coming under another picture as if to say he wants to do another thing, even though he knows that he cannot win. You know what happened in that case? Frank Safoko will not be able to go and be fighting this man and also be fighting for the president. So you know what happens in that case? The support of the president in terms of vote, it declined. Because in that case now, Frank will not be fighting 100% because he needs to fight for himself. Because he's been fought. Even though people at Twe should not sit and see what is happening, what the party says. And then you have somebody that is working with you, who you are the immediate boss of. And it is this government that gave you Twe the job to be the Minister of Finance, and you allow somebody there to be going against what the party say. And they may have a gust to say all the worst and nastiest thing about the Secretary General of CDC. I wonder the people capturing this thing. Listen, we are moving to elections. We don't need too many, things that will take us from what we need to go for, and make the people understand that the best solution for this country is President Weah. And make the people to understand that it is enough and they should not allow the people to waste resources. Let the people go for one round. But how do we do that when we have internal fight? It says to me that either Minister Twe could be supporting this man against what the party wants in District number 9. I don't have facts. I'm just saying it could be. Because this man is the HR of the Ministry of Finance. And Minister Twe will not tell me, say, he doesn't know that this man went for the CDC primaries, he got defeated in a transparent process, and now he's going as an independent candidate and saying worse things against the Secretary General of the party. And also fighting the candidate the party has taken or choosing. Why should we be fighting among ourselves? Why? Is this the law for party? Everybody's seeking their personal interest. If it is not me, it should not be you. If you cannot succeed, I should not succeed. If I cannot succeed in this thing, you will not succeed. So most of these fights will affect us. It will make the people to be confused as to who to vote for. And it will be affecting us. Because when we sit here and let the Liberian people know and make them to understand that the right way to go is to elect the president on the first one round victory. Then you'll get one John Brown. Listen, this man is having a gust. The man went for CDC primaries in District number 9 as a sedition. He was defeated in a transparent process. He goes and registers as an independent candidate. He still enjoys the confidence, the blessing of Twe. But Minister Twe, that's not how we fight the election. That's not how we do it. We can't work like this. Y'all got to stop that kind of a thing. Y'all got to stop. When we talk, then somebody else say, oh, why? Your thing say we'll be here. No, listen. Y'all got to stop. Yeah, the man house is red, but they got something called party mende. Or when people want to talk about people in the party, what they do wrong or what, they say, oh, you know what? Like the party, you'll be doing everything. But what that man is doing in district number 9, do you know how is it going to affect the party? The party said, this is it. This is what we want. Then another man that is working at the Ministry of Finance and up to president, then listen, somebody say, oh, you witch hunting the man, oh, you know why, everything. You think say the election going for that play election? For you to can't allow then people then to do all kinds of things? You better be serious in this place, eh? You better be serious. I know within myself, President, we will win on a first round victory. But you think that because all the people love, we should be doing things that are out of the way, we should be acting stupid? And you think that all the people like us all might be acting stupid? What kinds of nonsense is that? This man contested on the CDC team, free, fair, transparent. How many people across you've heard say, oh, CDC cheated in the primaries? No. The primaries were free, fair, and transparent across the country. You don't even hear people complaining like that. Then this man who is the HR at the Ministry of Finance said no, he will do everything to fight the CDC candidate in district number 9. And nobody seemed to see anything to happen with it. Though. Nobody think anything happened with it. You got a lady by the name of Margaret at the Ministry of Information. You and I know with our president, we have been president, you can't be minister there. But her husband is Frank Atus, who ran on the to go for the primaries to run on the ticket. He was defeated. He too had gone to register as an independent candidate. So what is the message are we getting out? For some of us, I don't have anybody that working in government. Nobody. I've never asked any of you in government say, oh, assist my brother and everything. The last time I remember, I am sending my sister, I sent her out of the country. She's abroad going to school. I'm paying for my pocket. No people in the country will tell me, say, oh, Seguse, give me money, let me pay my sister's school fee. She's graduating, coming back this year. I pay for my pocket. That some of you in government, 70 BB positions, are the ones enjoying all. Your children are flying across the world. You people have diplomatic passports. Some of us don't have it. We say using our original passport. Some of us say go to embassies to submit ourselves and everything. Some of you, your children don't even go through it. You people are the ones that are benefiting. But instead of you people to join so we all can hold together and make this thing to work come October, you people are there allowing all kinds of nonsense to happen. You think this fight that we're having, the internal fight, it will help us? No. We need to desist. And some of you will go to the president and make it to look that so all is well and everything is fine. We got to desist. How you get this man in district number 9? The CDC say, okay, this is what we're doing. And this, in fact, the people they now say, oh, Representative Foko, he won on a web ballot. No. He did not win on a web ballot. It was being contested for. And this man, who is the HR of Finance Ministry, got defeated. Amen. Fair enough. Fair enough. It is his right. It is his right. But there's a thing, the party decision, or the party is bigger than anyone. It is the party that came to power that make him to be HR today. Because Minister Twe, you are the Minister of Finance. You appointed him to be the HR. It falls under your jurisdiction. I'm not saying yet that you're supporting him, but this action of you not to make this man to understand that you don't fight the party that gave me the job. Because if CDC could not win election, Minister Twe, you will not be minister by this time. I need to say the bold truth here. If it hurts you, that's it. But that is it. Why would we be fighting ourselves off? Like you have, for example, all the media guys that support the government. You get the other person fighting the other one. You get the other person fighting the other one. Why must all these things be happening? Do what you can do and let your work speak for you. But we can't be doing these kinds of things. Listen, if the people in CDC or in the government don't know, say we are going to a major elections, you need to rethink and ask yourself what's happening to your brain. We're not just going for play election. We're going to a major elections in the country. It's going to be very complicated. And we don't need all the internal fight. We need to go with one message. We need to let the Liberian people know what is it, why they should go for Mr. President. Because he had done well. But how will you go in a place where you're talking about Mr. President, goodness and everything, then the very same person of you that should come and buttress it, he's coming to say, oh, that lie, the men are doing this, oh, the men die and everything. Let me tell you, they have silent voters. Some of the people will not talk, they will not ask, but they make the decision right there. Why is this happening? Why are we fighting our own in district number 9? Why? And then Mr. enjoys the thing. He takes a leave, and when he finishes fighting and everything, he spoils the vote. Either CDC Kennedy will now win in district number 9. The opposition takes it. You know what you're doing to the president when he sends things in the House of Representatives? What will the people do? You know what will happen? So I'm saying this, that we need to desist fighting among ourselves. You know, we can't be operating like that. Oh. No, it's not cool. If some of you can talk at me, I can talk it. If you get my co-pap in your play, cut it off. If you been supporting, cut it off. But once it is something that will affect the re-election of President, I will talk it. And I've said this, I support the government. I don't support individuals that will do the wrong thing in government. I support the president's success. Not like some of you that will do things that will make all kinds of things. No. It is unfair. We can't be doing these kinds of things among ourselves. You people, how do you go to primaries? You people, you are not cheated. Nothing. The primary was free, fair, and transparent. And then you come to a point, you stay working in the government, you take a leave, and then you fighting the person the government is supporting. And then it keep you there, you enjoy whatsoever, and then you God. There are some things I've heard. I don't have fights about it. I don't want to say it. But it is alleged that even though the man took a leave, but he's getting a huge support from the ministry. I don't want to say because I don't have facts. I don't want to lie on the minister on that. I know I don't have it. But it is what has been alleged. But in another sense, somebody will want to think and say, yes, it is true because the way the minister is established on this thing. But now, so there are certain people above the party. When are the common people, you say, the party mandate is all need to go by, and the party is bigger than anybody. How would the party be bigger than people when other people are doing things? You don't do something to them, but when are the common people, you do something to them. Our guests are already here. Let me take few calls on this issue. 0770 907 907 0770. And seditions, I'm just being honest and clear about this thing. We can't be doing this. You have a candidate in district number 9. Somebody, when they contested and everything, then they register as independent candidate. Then they fight him. But that man is working at the Ministry of Finance. His boss is Minister Twe. 0770907907 0770907907 Good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is Steve Patrick P. from Sokole District 4. Look, Sekou, any Safoko told us that President we will be given one thing. So it just to add more peace to us. So it's just clear.
My man, there's nothing the man said President will be given one thing, my man.
So,
my man, you lie. The man say, hello. I get a thing in my hand, the man, then I say, hello. Good
Hello?
evening. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Sego.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. This is Sam B. Miles calling from District 16. Yeah. I listened to all what you just said. You see, these are the people who are managing the entire government. Because you will not see a CDC candidate running in District 9 there, or HR going for primary, losing the primary instead of supporting the candidate that won the primary. Then he said he going as independent candidate. It is very bad. See it? So for me, the only thing here is that let's have Foko do his groundwork.
But in this case, the fight will be too much on Safogo because Safogo will be fighting to retain a position. How will he get a means again to fight to preach the president message in district number 9?
Of course, because what you are saying it is true. Because now he's trying to reduce the CDC vote within district 9.
Yeah.
So for that reason, Safogo needs to put his feet down and see how best to work hard.
Okay, thank you. Let me take the other person here. Hello.
Sharif.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Baba William, and I join from a resident officer in District 13 Tupo Village. Sharif, you see, some of those guys who they support party because of their self-interest. These are people that suffer. That's what the government needs. You see, District 13 when they had a primary with Andy. Andy was one of the men that had a population with lower need Georgia. But when Andy lost a primary to John J. Weir, Andy supported John J. Weir.
That's how it should be. The party is above anyone.
If you see District 11, original countryman in District 11, when he lost the primary, what he do? He issued a prayer release and he still with CDC and he support the party.
But you get the HR of Finance Ministry where is seated and then the man contesting against the party. The man insulting the Secretary General of CDC.
These are people that support President we are government need to deal to other people. But I think he need to see reason to then continue to support the party and then rejoice and support.
He not do it with spoiling. With spoiling, we get inside, we spoil everything. The interest about the re-election of President Weir is what we are looking at. We're looking at the Kekele. Hello?
Hello, Sebu.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This was George Bena. Now calling from
George, who I am, my brother.
Totally monitor you very carefully, Sebu. And Sebu, I think if you're not actually far off from me, I will tell you and put you on my back. So we need to be very serious for the election. You know what those guys are saying into some of the ministry or agency that if you go ahead there, that the devil should just, 10 things around the line and want to say, God. But they say the president pack the vote, God bless the win. They want to put down some of those kind of, people that they call citizens are full of the places that look, go for space.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me take Minister Ishaka Sharif. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Seko, how you doing?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the program tonight. And I understand all of the, the feelings that you're trying to, exhibit tonight, because it should not be like that. People should not be running against the party's candidate, especially when they lost the primary. But what I can say is that I'm very close to Minister Tue.
I know, my man. You want to speak? You the official spokesperson now?
No, I'm not speaking for Minister Tue, but I'm very close to him. And as far as my memory can set me right, Minister Tue has, on many occasions, I think 3 times in my presence, told Masayan Kukwe not to run. Even at that time, there was not a primary.
Who appoints him as the HR of the Ministry of Finance?
Obviously, Minister Troy is the Minister of Finance, and he has the authority to appoint. But that is the real issue, Sheikh. Representative Foucault, during the time of this election, in the by-election, Representative Foucault was hugely supported by Minister Toye.
No, I'm not. Listen, hello. Don't get this somehow different. I'm not talking about somebody supporting, not supporting. Listen, if Minister Toye supported Honorable Foucault, it is not something that it is what he needs to do. Because it is the government party that support the man. So Minister Toye doing it, that news.
Yes, I agree.
That's not news there. So he's supposed to do it. That's CDC Kennedy now.
I agree with you, Sheikh. That's what he needed to do. But even when they
my brother Ishaka, let's be bold here. Minister Toye himself is not doing well in this thing. Listen, if you have two separate messages going out in District Number 9, it won't be good for us.
I agree with you.
So what Toye that appointed the man as HR can take decision on the man?
I can assure you, I agree with all of what you are saying, Sheikh. I agree with all of what you are saying. But what I can say is that I can assure the public that Minister Toye is not supporting Masayan.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take a break. We'll usher in our guests here. Yeah. So we're taking a break. Hope our guys we close out of the cameras as we prepare to take our guests. We're taking calls again. I said tomorrow we'll talk about this thing here. It's very important. And I want to say this song, it sends my heart to the time we were young. Were you people around? I don't know whether Randa was around by that time. You know, I used to remember that time Randa used to wear big trousers. Yeah. Okay, our two guests are already here for the final segment of the show tonight. We have as one of our guests Randall Dobayu from the Congress for Democratic Change. And you have Walter Nene. They both individuals, they've come from the Congress of Democratic Change. They've joined us tonight to talk about the post-thank you program recently held at the headquarters of the Congress of Democratic Change. And so we're going to talk about that issue, talk about other wide range of national issues tonight on the show. I want to say thank you to every one of you for joining us tonight on the show. Our guests are already here, and we're going to start the discussion. Randall, let me say good evening to you, my brother.
Good evening, Sekou Sharif, and good evening to our organized listeners out there. And of course, the music you just played, I like that music.
You know what I say? The time we were young, you used to be wearing big trousers.
But so you were born in the 90s, and I was born in the 80s. So
yeah, how you managed to do?
I know. I have seen your passport. I've done some work for you. And,
don't be lying.
So I'm well knowledgeable to that music. You know, in the 90s when we were playing that music, you were still a kid.
I was still a kid running around doing that. Okay, Wakte, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sekou Sharif. Good evening to the radio listeners, and also good evening to all citizens and partisans of the Martyr Coalition of the Democratic Change, cut across the biddy wave of the Republic of Liberia. It's a pleasure being your cousin studio.
Okay, Randall, of recent, CDC had a very elaborate program, and the name and style of the program, they said, thank you, President Weah. How did CDC derive at that name?
Thank you very much, my dear brother Sekou Sharif. Let me firstly highlight to what extent I'm proud of you as a young man. I mean, Chogesa.
You can't flatter me.
I'm not going to flatter you. I'm very sensitive to my conscience. To see a young man like you, who a few years back you were working for somebody else. Today you are an entrepreneur, an employer, and you create a paradise of employment for young people. I think from the angle of the poor development for prosperity, we have to recognize you, and that's the fundamental essence of the poor agenda. So that you create an economic space that young Liberians like you will excel in your desire to be an entrepreneur. Let me firstly recognize that aspect of you. On the issue about the program, my dear brother Sekou Sharif, you see, we did not derive at that instantly. It happened instantaneously. It happened spontaneously from the people. At some point in time, it became organic. Now, there was a time, sometimes about a month ago, when the young students who took WAYEG, when they got to with their wives, the wives is saying, they went to the party headquarters to say thank you, President Weah. Thank you for alleviating the stress of WAYEG from our heads and heads of our poor parents. Also, there were a group of people under the banner of Motorcycle Union. During the government of Joseph Boakai, the Failed Unity Party, they deprived young motorcyclists from plying the street, thus decreasing their chances to have better economic opportunities. And this government said, it's a proper government. Let the people fly and make their living. Those people have gone in segment to say thank you. The market women were given dignity. They were sitting on a leaking roof, on broken tables, right? President Weah, he added dignity to their quest for economic viability and economic prosperity. So people in various segments were coming every day. So the party said, wait a second, instead of you coming here every day to appreciate the president in segment, it is wholly necessary, and also, as the Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research, I'm privileged to see a lot of information letters, communication, outgoing, incoming, right? We have
meaning Liberians were writing the Congress of Democratic Change, telling them that they want to have a program where they will say thank you to the president.
We have a suggestion box at our party headquarters. I'm the custodian of that suggestion box, where partisans, where citizens I anonymously allow to put a suggestion there in terms of how we can govern and how we can lead a party. So most of what I just said, in answer to that, people also recommend it. So we listen as a party, as a government, as a people, we listen. And so we just set the stage because that's not the desire of the president. In the mind of the president, understanding the social contract theory, you give me power, I correspondingly give you roles, I give you electricity, I give you a free tuition fee. So the anticipation of the president is not for people to walk to him and say thank you, because he believes he was executing his constitutional responsibility to the people consistent with the social contract theory. But the people say yes, other people in this country, they looked at our country, they signed 68 useless concession, they were raping, killing our people, they were reducing our people to to suffering. They were inviting poverty upon them. And so for you as a president to be elected in adherence to the tenets of liberal democracy, in adherence to why you were elected, we think it is wholly necessary that we come in and give you things so that you can do more and more. So in a nutshell, that was the fundamental essence in the beginning of that program. And you saw we took less than 1 week.
It was because of some of the communications or suggestions the people sent that prompted you people to derive.
Voluntary desire to always go there in segment.
To derive
it was overburdening the people, right? So we just needed an environment where everybody come together and the president listened to them. So that was the essence of that program. And so as we go on, my colleague Nay, he introduces himself. Then we can go into the merit of and the externalities of.
No, he has introduced himself already, and because I want to understand, like the public, they're following as to how the two people derive at the name which you said, because people brought
the people derived the name. It was not the party, the people. I said people came from wire background. They said thank you. People who market structures were built. They came to say thank you. Today, when we came to power in 2018, we have less people who have access to electricity. From 2018 up to now, about 140,000 households have been connected to the national grid. Were you to quantify that into mathematics, we talk about over 800,000 Liberians who were not connected to our electricity grid have direct access to electricity today. When we took power, the average cost of a kilowatt, it was 35 cents. The government reduced it to 21 cents, reduction of 14 cents as of what we were paying for electricity. So you see the reduction, it has brought more access to electricity. Government pays $60 million on the Transco arrangement.
We're going to reach to all of that.
Those are fundamental basis that people were coming to say thank you in segment. So it was the people who decided to say thank you. We only set the stage. We only volunteer and give our party haircuts so that people can commemorate, gather, and have that unique opportunity to interact with our leader president. We are and say thank you. And that was what you saw, Sekou.
Is that the number of support base CDC is depending on to win the elections come October?
We are depending on the marketeers. We are depending on the students who have been stopped from paying school fees at the university abroad. We are depending on people who are enjoying the over 300 kilometers of primary roads built by the country, by the president since his ascendancy, and on all of the connections that have been done in the country. The RI 8 road. These are the people we are depending on. The Coca-Cola to EWA 6.1 kilometers of road. The Johnsonville phase 1 6.5 kilometer road. People who are enjoying the road of Johnsonville turning point Puebla construction of 6.5 kilometer road. The rehab community road expansion. These are the people we are depending on, to come outside. Right, the sending went to Zwaju, 65 kilometers of road, which is in the Puebla. These are the people we are depending on, Sekou. So, to be asking me who are we depending on? We are depending on Liberians, not foreigners. We are not going to negotiate 30 million outside the country against our electoral law. These are not the people we are depending on. We are depending on Liberians who are serving as doctors. When we came to power, the average salary of a medical doctor was $700 United States. This government, under the dynamic leadership president, we are increased about 1,300 on average today. Every doctor that goes home with a minimum of $2,000 United States. These are the people we are depending on. The nurses, over 2,500 nurses were to be laid out when the government came to power. 2,500, because there was a donor pool fund responsible to pay them. But when they were exiting, those people, they had no hope of paying on payroll. The government instituting sound governance and consistent with the tenets of democracy said, no, wait a second, I cannot allow these people to be laid off. Government absorb these people on our payroll. These are the people we are depending on. Asking me who are we depending on? Look, we are depending on people in Bapolo who for the first time today have a modern hospital. We are depending on people who using the SKD. The government of Joseph Yuma Boaka used over $20 million United States to construct SKD. Yes, it did not meet international status. It did not meet international standard. FIFA kept banning us. Today, our government, under the dynamic leadership of President George Weah, used just under $3 million United States. And SKD has met international standard to the extent that our neighbors here, Sierra Leone, they are not using our stadium as their home stage. These are the people we are depending on. The people from Popo Beach, over 1,000 household homes will come out with electricity, with pipe and water. For the first time, people in Perez Village in Green Leader County can see a Camo. People there in Togway Town can see infrastructure, electricity. These are the people we are depending on to come outside to vote. So when you ask me who we are depending on, there are more people everywhere in the country that we are depending on. So
let me go to work that, and this is what your opponent are saying. Using the headquarters of CDC, determined or classified to be a very small space that anyone will fill in just a moment. And CDC has done little, and they are bragging that the number of partisans that came out has given them reasons, or it has sent out some understanding that it is just easy that will win the elections. Why didn't you maybe check out for someone more bigger than CDC, the headquarters, instead of using that place to show your political strength?
Yeah, thank you, Sekou, for the opportunity. Let me say thank you for that promotional question. And we are all very much contestable about the historical march of the Martin Coalition for Democratic Change. You and I are quite aware February 4th, 2023 program, the thank you rally that was held at the ATS. You saw the 1 million rally that was conducted by the Martin Coalition for Democratic Change. So it is very much unfortunate on the part of the opposition to say that the CDC have a little program at the headquarters of the Coalition of Democratic Change. We have a precedent that shows that CDC hosted a program at the ATS, and people from the 15th political subdivision converged at the ATS to that 1 million rally campaign. So that is not a genuine cause for the opposition to be crying baby. But what is important to notice that, Sekou, over the years that the president has done tremendously well in ensuring that the lives of the ordinary people from West Point, Clarendon, Nukutan have been touched. You and I are also aware that in 2021, when the president went for a climate change summit in Glasgow, the president made a splendid presentations about the climate change situation that is affecting Africa and the world at large. It was interesting to know
How does that connect the issue about the number of persons you put out at the headquarters of CDC?
So I just explained to you that it is not in the first time of CDC to pull on numbers. February 4th, we hosted a mass-based program at the ATS, and you saw the conversions of parties that were there. So I'm going to lay out some developmental gains that the president has made, for which the people continue to turn out in the numbers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so more to that. So it's very much unfortunate on the part of the opposition. So during the 2021 Climate Change Summit, the president made a splendid presentations saying that the people of West Point, they are being affected by the sea erosion. So it is against that backdrop that the Green Climate Fund awarded a $25 million, for which that today the township of West Point will be benefiting from the coastal defense force.
Okay, let me go to Randa. Randa, this is a post right after the day you people had the rally from Senator Lawrence. She said the small number that Dillon left with them after the second beating in Montserrat can only fit in party headquarters here now. One round is clearer every day. What do you make of this post from Senator Yombi Kaga Lawrence?
She's a frustrated lady. I feel her pain.
You say frustrated?
Yeah, and only frustrated people can speak in that form and manner. Nobody talks about cry and small gathering when she held her program on a post on Broad Street where you only need a keke to cause traffic and everywhere is jammed. That was where they had their program to unveil their. I'm told it's a kidney seller, this guy who can harvest him apart. The vice presidential candidate when they went to unveil him on Broad Street. My church is Sacred Heart Cathedral. And every time you see, you got more than almost 1,000 cars parked there. And I'm told they have been invaded from their depot. Now they have gone to the old immigration building. So people like that, who that's raw arrogance and a governor's frustrated.
Are you saying that Unity Party headquarters is no longer?
It's no longer because the campaign.
Up the hill?
No, it's no longer. They are now on to Barrow Party ground to old immigration building. So a group of people that move every month. So these are not serious people. So I don't want to dignify a lady like Yomi. Yomi is frustrated.
How will you not dignify her when she is the chairperson?
No, she is an incomefona, a political incomefona. She has no front and no back. She is a sacrificial lamb. She has been expelled from the Liberty Party for being ungrateful. You know, Yomi has a crest on her political crest. She wasn't speaking to Bronsky when Bronsky died. Today, Bronsky's daughter is contesting as vice president, and she is going against Bronsky's daughter. She's no longer in Liberty Party. She has been expelled for bringing a loose political element. So I don't want to dignify her. She was supposed to be vice president. Joseph Boga disappointed her and brought a human pass seller out of frustration. Pretending. How can you be a campaign manager for somebody that you don't know? Sam Nyombi was appointed campaign manager. She has never gone to Boaka house. They've never talked for money.
Are you living with Boaka?
I am the Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research.
So what does that suggest to us?
People I work with intelligence network. We're running a very serious political party.
Do you have people assigned within Boaka?
Challenge Nyombi to prove that she has gone to Boaka since she was appointed. They have not met. It's a serious issue in that. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about why the people came outside. The people came outside because people that you saw that day, some of them are from Bon County. These people are not ungrateful people. Why they are aware of the 81 kilometer of primary road between Manga and Salaye. For the first time in our country, there is a big road. When Joseph Boaka was the president and vice president, the road between Manga and Salaye, you have to drive on it before going 4 years. He did not think about it. The people came outside because of the Ganta to second PA 39 kilometers of road. That's why the people came outside. The people are aware of the second PA to Tapeta road, 61 kilometers of road. Ganta to Sani Kwele, 37 kilometers of road. Just a few days ago, the government has secured funding for phase 1 of the road between Tapeta and Total. The people of Grange there today have hope because yesterday the president also gave the people of Fishtown hope by constructing the phase 1 of Kiripo road, 20 kilometers of road. And we talk about the Rabasport Martina road, 12.5 kilometer phase 1 has commenced. These are reasons why the people have come outside and they will continue to come outside. So when you ask me why the people are outside, since 1990, this is the first time in the history of our country that the peace and security of the state is in the hand of the state. No OMIO, no ECOMO, no UNIMIO. Everything about security in this country is being handled by our government 100%. Yet there is zero political prisoner. Yet there is no clamp down on media. Press freedom is everywhere. Liberia has been ranked by the United Nations as one of the countries that is honoring press freedom to its zenith. Yet in the presence of all of the economic meltdown, we've reduced inflation from 30% to about less on one digit, about 7 to 8%. That's not me. Read the World Bank report. So we are giving you reasons why the people came outside. People came outside because they are not ungrateful people. Your
opponent think
do we have opponents in this country?
The opposition.
We have people to cry, frustrated people
say,
who want to reincarnate themselves and clinch onto the governance of the state. These are the people who have.
They said you paid people to come out on Monday.
That's insult to the Liberian people.
What makes it insult?
You do not insult the intelligence of the Liberian people.
You said people came from Bon County. How did they come to Monroe?
I said people there, they are bongis. They are better people who live here. Right? Better people who live here who can go back home and know that.
No, you said people came from Bon.
People came. Where country you from? Lofa. Doesn't mean you came yesterday. I'm from Great.
So how do you know that I'm from Lofa?
I know you. You are a bandit made between Lofa and you are a brother. I know you. You forget. I know you very well. I saw you growing up as a kid. I know you. So let's proceed. So when I tell you people, people came outside from this very background. It doesn't mean.
No, but you said it though.
No, I'm not relenting. I'm not shying away. People came from there doesn't mean they physically work on that day. People have their background from those places and development is ongoing there. So people
it suggests and says that you people pay people to come up.
Yes, we pay people. We pay people, to be honest with you. We pay people by building 233 kilometers of road. That was the pay that president. We have paid people. We pay people by ensuring that over 40,000 students benefit from WISE every year. That is the pay that president. We have paid the people. He has paid the people by ensuring that today, for the first time, you now have a rubber processing plant in this country where you'll be facing car tires and rubber bands and other rubber material. That is the pay. You have a steel factory in this country. It has never happened in this country. That is the pay. The pay is one in the RRA road, and for the first time, if you're moving, you see a football pitch. That is the pay that we pay the people. We pay the people by ensuring that we do not borrow from the central bank any longer. The president does not borrow from the central bank. That is the pay we pay the people. The pay is to ensure that today 19 doctors have been sent out of the country to be specialized. And the dialysis center at the JFK, where you no longer have to go Ghana and travel out of this country to do your dialysis treatment. You now have a state-of-the-art dialysis center at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. That is the pay the president has paid the people. And so the people, in reciprocating the pay the president gave, they came also to say thank you. If that is the pay you are talking about, yes, we pay these people. We pay these people by ensuring that when we keep us on November, on Bloody Monday 2011 to protest, they kill us. When they kill us at June 7, we give them water, we give them food. That is the pay. We've paid them.
The pay in which the people talking about, you people pay them $20 to come up on that day, each person.
Yes, that was the same pay. They paid the people when they long one. That was the same pay you're talking about, right? You see, that's insult. You don't insult the Liberian people. The Liberian people, they are grateful people. The Liberian people, they are not ingrate. How can you reduce the Liberian people from receiving pay when the people are seeing tangible development? When the people are seeing that the president is investing into agriculture, the president has provided over 60,000 farmers with supplementary material and subsidy to ensure that the produce reaches the market. He's building farm to market role for them, and you say the president has paid it. That's insulting the Liberian people intelligence. Are you telling me the people do not have conscience? Or if they come answer for the CDC and president, we are they been paid. But if they come answer for you, then they are not paid. That's insult to the intelligence of the people. You don't do that, and the people will pay you on October 10 for attempting to deface their character and reducing it to dollarized character. People who sell their image for 20 USD. Look, when people are paid, they don't work from Nickeltown to the party headquarters.
Did you people provide, vehicles for your partisans on Monday? Or they were coming by themselves from all directions?
Look, we don't waste it like people time. Let us substantive issue.
No, I'm asking is
very important to provide vehicles for all those people. You saw hundreds of thousands of people converging, working in multitudinal proportion. You saw how organic the movement was. You saw the entire country was on lockdown. Who has that capacity? In fact, where was the car pass? Car was not moving. How will you get people in vehicles? So Sekou, you are a serious journalist in this country.
So the president on the program said he boasted of being the most qualified person for the presidency, looking at the legs of Ambassador Joe Boakai that has served in government for many years. How would the president see people like Joe Boakai and he says he's the most qualified?
The Secretary General of our party explained to you right there. I don't know whether the Secretary General is the official conveyor of message in our party. He was exceedingly articulate. Look, who else is qualified as president? We are in these elections. Who else?
Ambassador Boakai has served in government for many years.
He has never been a president. There is no school for the presidency. No one goes to school to become a president. There are only 2 Liberians alive that have served as president other than President Weah. Chancellor is in jail. The possibility of him coming back to contest is like taking the head of an elephant and passing it through the eye of the Onino. That cannot happen. The next Liberian is President Salif. That is the only living Liberian that have served 2 terms. She's the only person with experience above George Weah. But guess what? She is not contesting. President Weah is the only Liberian that have served as president before who is contesting. So Joe Boakai has been a vice president, a back vice president. And a non-reactive vice president. He's not reactive. An inconsequential vice president. His might as a vice president is infinitesimal to the developmental drive of our country. So President Weah, yes, he's the most qualified, most competent, and most experienced person contesting as president. To be a vice president, you are not the president. You are not the commander-in-chief. You are not the chief executive officer, and you are not the head of state. President Weah is on the mind that have said head of state and he's contesting. So Joseph Boakai, if he can now act with Manajoa Hotelo because that's on vice presidential level. So you don't want to talk about character like that. So I don't expect people to argue that it's factual. So you don't want to take chances again because no matter what happens, everyone who becomes the president, there is a window of trial and error. There's a window of error. We made mistakes. Let me admit, in the first 1 or 2 years, we were trying to grab and understand because there were internal elements within government functionaries who were doing otherwise to undermine the government. So we have almost 1 to 2 years struggling. If we bring anybody else, because because we've already at our peak. We are excelling at an altitude that is not coming down. If you take a Bwaka who is sleeping, a sleep hooper a Bwaka, a man who has a governor.
You call Bwaka a sleeping man?
He's not a sleeping man, he's a sleep hooper. He's a giant sleeper, a man who has absolute pleasure in sleeping.
Is this how you people see Joe Bwaka?
That's not how we see him, that's who he is. Joseph Bwaka has a sleep disorder.
Because the president
he
said
has no control over.
he
has no control over what happened.
Joel the sleeper.
No, he's Joel the sleeper. Governor sleeper. He should be sleeping. In fact, by being around Joseph Bwaka, it has effect on your health. So I don't want to dwell more on him.
That is a political issue. How do you say being around somebody has something?
But look, there was a picture they posted for this guy rescued to the kidney cell. I saw him sleeping. Just few days of being around Joseph Bwaka, he has adapted the pattern of sleeping. So these people are not serious people. A man who served as agriculture minister in this country and could not have a single farm. A man who was a vice president in his home. Foya was dark for 12 years. A man who was a vice president in rehab, and rehab was a dusty environment today. President Weah has transformed that place to a little Miami where everywhere is paved and the electricity is flowing. These are the fundamental reasons why the people came outside to say thank you, Mr. President, and these are the reasons why the people are not going to waste the time of the Liberian people by going to second round. No, we are going to elect President. We are on the first ballot because the millions of dollars we will use for second round could be used to develop our country, to build roads. Already, the president is aggressively building roads. We've added over 3,000 supplementary teachers on the payroll. That wasn't the case. We've digitalized the universal library registration process, where when people were in school those days, they have to get online. Work day is no longer happening. And so, because of these reasons, Sekou, the Liberian people, they are going to go and support the president and elect him on the first ballot. Thank you very much.
How do you engage Liberians, making them to understand that you've got the solutions, they've given you the 6 years, and this time you want to get another 6 years to lead this country? How do you engage someone in Lofa?
Yes, Sekou, thank you. It's very much important that the Liberian people themselves, they are aware of the development of this president. What is very important to notice that, Sekou, during the thank you program.
No, I'm talking, listen, I ask you a specific question.
Sekou, I'm trying
How do you engage? No, let's go, no time, no.
Sekou, it's very important to note that the people within the county of Lofa, they are seeing the development of this government, specifically the president of the Republic of Liberia, have carried on over the period of 5 years or 6 years. Evidence of that is that with Infoya, you see the street lights that are Infoya. That is a clear development that the people of Lofa are seeing for themselves. It was also always interesting to know that today the biggest city hall with Infoya County was constructed under this regime. These are developmental agenda that the president has done within the county of Lofa.
Go ahead. Yes.
So it is very important that few days from now, that there will be a big dedication of a radio station within the county of Lofa.
Who owns the radio? I'm told it is your Secretary General.
Look, if it is owned by our Secretary General, there is a plus. In fact, it adds on to what Brother Nen has said. So when Joseph Bwaka was vice president, he did not be hot in Foya. So if you are telling me a young mayor, like Mayor Koji, Secretary General Koji, will go and build a modern infrastructure, not in New York, and not in Zelekole, not anywhere on planet Earth, but in Foya, then it gives you enough reason because
who built the radio station?
It was built by a Liberian who is in this government. You just called a name. You said.
So I want you to confirm me who built it.
No, I'm not in the business of confirming what happened or what not happened. I'm telling you.
So you don't even know of what's happening in your government?
No, Lofa can't. What you got in my government? Everything we explain, you explain it for me.
No, but you. I asked you say you don't know.
Little information doesn't mean.
No, it's not little.
That little information.
No.
Say
so I'm asking you. The man is bragging that you're gonna open a radio station in Lofa.
I just told you about the 81 kilometer of road.
No, let's talk about the radio
first. You asking radio is infinitesimal.
Why? Because is not what you're using now to talk to the people, thousands of people.
I'm telling you the structure, the modern infrastructure built.
Who has the radio station?
Built by the Secretary General of our party.
So are you confirming now it is being built by Jefferson
beyond the radio station? There are many other infrastructure development. Okay. There are many other investments. You saw his engagement with the Lofa team, and he has given Lofa trophy 2 times in less than 5 years. About 2 times reached the final, right? So what has happened is all the sons of Lofa in this government, and last government had more Lofian, they abandoned their country. But Lofian within our government at the echelon of power and authority, they have never abandoned Lofa. You saw it was reciprocated in the senatorial election, where for the first time a candidate supported by our party contested and won.
They may won as an independent candidate.
No, they may won as a candidate backed by the Congress for Democratic
No,
he was our candidate. We back him.
He's a
member of the citizenship. No, you cannot take that.
No, you did not. You did not. He won as an independent candidate.
Won as a candidate supported by the Congress for the Coalition for Democratic Change.
No,
call him and ask him.
No, I don't need to call him. What I know of,
I challenge you.
What I know of, he won on the independent.
He won as a candidate supported.
So after he won,
he was endorsed.
Went
the same way Jeremiah Kun did not contest on CDC ticket, he contest on NRD, but because
that was a marriage.
Who
is one of the marriage do you have with him?
We had a political marriage.
Which one of it?
No, we
on a party line.
No, he already registered as an independent candidate. We endorsed him.
He won.
Your
candidate would not win.
There were other candidates that we endorsed at the
time. Your candidate did not win.
It was being a manus.
Your candidate did not win. No, you need to be sure of that.
Which candidate did we have?
Didn't you support someone?
Tell me who
didn't you support?
No, we had no candidate. We had no candidate. He was our candidate. He's our partisan. So we don't waste our time.
You are not supporting Mariam Fofana of your.
Seko, we supported Councillor Jala, who is
you want to take a go. You did the same thing with District 13 representative. You did not support Edward Papi Flomo when he won the election. You try to see glory.
Look, in politics, there's something called alignment and realignment. And intuitive political approach calls for that in comparative government politics. And so I'm telling you now, if you can be persuasive enough and get somebody coming over to you, that's enough. That tells you what extent you are working. Now, you see today, we were just 3 in a coalition, 2017. Today, our coalition has grew to 9. It tells us that citizens have worked harder enough that other political parties have seen their manifesto in what we want to do.
And that's the question I wanted to ask you. Most of the people are saying it is 9 different political parties that converge on Monday. So that number is very small for 9 different political parties.
And term and start Coalition for Democratic Change.
Don't.
Those 9 political parties are Liberians. They're not foreigner. The idea is for you to work hard enough.
Party converging in that number.
No, it's about working hard. It's about working hard and having 9 political parties condensing their platform and coming to join you, because some of them talking about they want to build road, and when they saw President we has already built over 600 kilometers of road, including primary and secondary road and feeder roads. Other people were talking about building proper homes when they saw President we have built homes. Other people were talking about ensuring that local government is enhanced. The chiefs and traditional people of this country for the first time, all of them have vehicles and have motorbikes. Other people are talking about female gender mutilation and social inclusion. This government is engaged in the cash transfer to the people directly.
And it's so good you are from the southeast.
So these are developmental initiatives that those political parties saw and said, but then our manifesto is already manifested in what citizens is doing with the proper agenda. So they join us because of good governance. Because
it is so good you are from the southeast. And Southeasterners think that the government has not done much in terms of the promises you made to them, looking at the role, how things are difficult for them. You, as one of the sons from that area, were you to go and tell the people about the good message of President Weah, what will you say?
I don't know where in the southeast are you talking about. You can't tell me
entire southeast.
No, you are in error. You can't tell me about Sano County, because I speak to you today. There is a 10 million redevelopment project on Mississippi Street in Sano County on our GCF arrangement under the Environmental Protection Agency. That is affecting the people. As I speak to you, horses, money.
I'm talking about major roads.
No, I'm the coastal corridor connecting Riverside Phase 1 is commencing now. The African Development.
have you moved
Now
to
listen to me,
elections?
Go in Greenwood County today. The roads are paved in Greenwood, it's part of the Southeast. Go in Zwaju today.
You talking about major roads?
Go in Zwaju today. Go in Zwaju. A major referral hospital is being built. And I just told you about the Tapeta to Toll Town Road. Go there today. You see electricity when the president went there. There is more access to electricity in the Southeast in any part of the country as I speak to you today. Go in Maryland. I told you about the first time to Kiripo, 20 kilometers of road. The first time to Calico, I got 80 kilometers of road. So which part of the Southeast are you talking about? You should be telling me since election ended in 2017, Joseph Boga abandoned the people of Southeast. He have not even gone there to say thank you. He insulted the people who are walking away. What is he going to say again? I'm giving you sufficient reason why President we are winning. Since 2017, President we have gone to the Southeast in about 3 different times. Since 2005, we've been losing election. President we did not abandon any county. He goes back and said thank you. Our so-called major opponent has never gone to any of the Southeastern country to say thank you. And you here want to question what has happened in the Southeast. A lot of development in multitudinal proportion have been, initiated in the Southeast. So your argument is squat. It doesn't meet the reality of the conversation. The people of Southeast are very grateful to President Weah for ensuring that development has touched their country. You see, sons and daughters of the Southeast. You have the bank governor who is a Southeasterner. He asking what has happened for the people of Southeast. You have the finance minister who is a Southeasterner. Do not attempt to get a Southeasterner angry with you. I'm telling you, it's not for you.
So who is there now?
You as a person who is attempting to misinterpret the reality on ground, Sekou is not good for you. And so I want you to retract that statement. President Weah has done extremely well for the people of Southeast, and they are grateful to this president for his development. And I can go on. And of course, you did not expect us to throw the road on our head and carry in the Southeast. It has to be incremental. It has to start from where the road is.
The fear of the opposition, before we go to the lines.
So initially, the first place road ever built in this country, since I brought from our Borough, when Lebanon Borough went Makibi, from Makibi went Bon, from Bon it went Nima, Nima went Grange there, and that's how connection comes. You don't expect to tow quota and carry and go dump it there. So the argument that where's the major road, no, that is
the fear of opposition. The fear of opposition is this government might likely tamper with the elections, looking at the way things are happening. And is it that the government has any intention to tamper with the elections, or is it something that been said by the opposition to get the attention of what they want to do in terms of tampering with the elections?
Yes, Sekou, what is very important to notice that the October 10, 2023 elections is a very critical election in the history of our country. That is the reason why the ECOWAS is being deeply involved with
always involved in
election process. You have all the international community, United Nations, you have all the development partners that are also contributing to this election. So this government is not and will not tamper with this election process for the fact that you have all the international partners who are supporting these elections to make sure that we have a free, fair, and transparent election. That's the reason why this government do not have any interference with the National Election Commission, who has a statutory mandate to conduct a free, fair, and transparent elections. So the crowd on the side of the opposition is something is very lazy. They don't have no mayota or two. That's the reason why for each time CDC conduct their rally, you see a large convergence of partisans cut across the beltway of the Republic of Liberia to continue to show the trust and confidence that this president continues to have in the developmental drive of the state.
What do you make of this?
That's a grave allegation, Sekou.
Okay.
For you as a journalist to...
Let me ask you this question, Randall, before we go ahead. What do you make of this news where they're saying that ALP political leader might likely join the CDC? Is this something that the CDC will accept?
The CDC is open to everybody. Even Baka will want to hear him. Even if the CDC will accept him. It's a political party that incorporates everyone. So we do not drive people away who want to associate with us. But Ure was a member of the CDC. He left and he founded ALP. If he wants to come back, we will embrace him 1 million times because it tells you that he has realized that the CDC is transforming this country. He has realized that there's no need to waste Liberian people time. So if he decides to join today, I will embrace him personally, and our party will embrace him. Our Senate Bureau will embrace him. We do not run people away who later recognize that the president is perfectly leading. But going back to your question on the allegation that we want to rig election, look, second, that question is exceedingly myopic. We were in this country yet. We went into 2 consequential elections that a non-entity that belong.
He's a senator though.
Yeah, he's a non-entity like DeLong defeated us here 2 times. We accepted the result. A consequential election in our stronghold. I mean, it's a fact. We did not thwart any result. You see, the people on the other side, they cry wolf is like a child who goes to school, he didn't study, when teacher can get tests, they will just be making noise because they don't want to take the test. So we went into that election, national election, the Senate, the midterm election. We were defeated here, we accepted the result. When the president said a Euro will not win election, Tidia Euro made us go to a run-out in district number 15. And we were right here, we accepted the result. And you are talking about, Ray, our president has a perfect and a snow-like credential when it comes to accepting election results. In 2005, you saw we won the election over 1 million, but we were robbed of our political entitlement, and the Fair Unity Party enjoyed disproportionate political royalty at our disadvantage. We accepted the result. In 2011, when we went into elections, when Dan Fomo announced the real result in our favor, later on the 28th, when we have just come outside the protest, they kill us. We still accept the result. When a young man, Papi Solo, in 2005 was killed. Another young man was killed. More than 3 persons were killed, but only one body they were able to give us. They retrieved the other body, they put it in YC, fish Edo's body. May their soul rest in peace. We accept the result here, and you here want to convey a fake conspiracy theory from those opposition guys. They are not serious. They are sensing their defeat. But we are not carried away by those shadow statements. We are going to the pool and we'll defeat them on the first battle.
Thank you very much. Let me go to the lines now and take a few of your calls tonight on the show. You're listening to the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. I have my 2 guests, Mr. Randall M. Dobayu, the second. He's the Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research within the CDC. And then we have Wakte. He has He's from the Youth League of the Congress of Democratic Change. Let's go to the lines. Call us on 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, 0880-907-907. Let me take this call. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Brown, one local for Taman Breast in the Bombing County.
Bommy, go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, I just want to extend my thanks and appreciation to the guy in studio. But so, there's a question I want to ask. Are you guys for the CDC or you're not for the CDC? The one agriculture is that most of the things we all want to hear that, the people for CDC, they are not educated, but you guys, I think we're listening well. I mean, I just want to say bravo to you guys. Continue the good way. People are locked down in Bombing County. The people listen to your radio station. So that you say we are doing well. And I can show you that President William will be going, open the one round. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me take another person here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. How are you doing?
Yes, we're good.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. This is Patrick TV. Thank you for giving me to your studio guest. I put listening to him very well, and he said, Pastor Barker is a sleeper. I agree. He's a sleeper. And he's a human being like you. And look, the age you're in now, when Pastor Barker was in at our age, all what you say to be protecting somebody, you are not doing that. You are doing something for this country positively. It's not how pathetic or so.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Okay. Okay, let me take another person here. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Thomas Walla, calling from above, Nigudan. Yes, I don't say to you and others say to me the Mangabian studio there. Let us work about all these the fake people around called the fair opposition. Children don't have nothing to show for the Liberians. So don't forget about all that and come let us elect President we are October 10th to the 23. But this warning don't have nothing to the Liberian children for the 5 years in the government don't have nothing to prove to the Liberians. And should not have nothing to do.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this person here. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is I call from Banja. Yeah, I want to say thank you to the studio guests, in them. I appreciate them so much. Even though I just put a video on, I didn't really follow the story from the beginning, but yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take more calls. We have roughly a few minutes to go. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello,
yes, sir. Good evening.
This is Printo calling from Do Community. Mr. Good evening to my brother. Hello?
Go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, thank you. Look, we are not here for fun. The campaign chairperson for CDC is an ex-patient person. Then you want to compare him with anybody.
You get record to show. I will not even allow you to continue with that because you say that thing you say is a funded thing. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
That's it. I'm calling for this party. Just contradicted themselves.
I'm not getting you. You're breaking. Hello?
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sekou. Let me say good evening to the man who controls the final session of our UV, of our national UV, Leader Water. And let me also say good evening to the man who we refer to as the custodians of our party document, or the Deputy Secretary General of Research and Record and Statistics of Leader Ronald Philip Pazakwet Dubayu. And this is the voice of Lawrence Quia, and I am the fast chief of operation district now UV, the chapter of Mosoro County. And look, let me tell you, the CDC is structured in a way that even if you were to have a certain political party come together as one to go against the CDC, there's no way to win the CDC. So the CDC, we have structure, we have real structures within the CDC.
Thank you, my brother. Let me take more calls. No time. Hello.
Hello, Brother Sekou.
Good evening. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, I appreciate you so much for your hard work on the main day, my brother. And I also appreciate our brother who is in the studio with you. I'm Prince Steve Gonda calling from Johnsonville. Some of us are giving our support to CDC for the past election from 2005 and 2011. But the government are making to understand that they are the real notorious in the country. According to all of the information from our brother Moss tonight.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this person here. I'm going to take roughly 3 more calls. No time. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I want to tell you. Yes, the thing is zero. But I want to start something. They all cry when you put the city, they all cry. They go for all in the market, they are 7 minutes. I don't cry. I'm half full yourself. For what you doing this shit, man? My job, I want that person so we are well. You're looking up.
Hello? Hello? Okay, let me take this person on the line. The lines are busy. Hello? Good evening. Good evening. Hello? I don't know, you on the line, you don't want to say something. I mean, no, I'll cut you up. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening, go ahead. You need to move from the monitor, please.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Baptist Seminary. You know, we have to respect one another in this country in terms of politics. You don't have to let somebody before you be for them. The utterances that can be provided in these discussions are very, very, very unacceptable. And look, CDC now proving to us in this country that they can never win election here again. Because why?
Look at the sitting government 24 hours, they sharing money. When they getting this shit money from?
Yeah, man. You said sitting government ain't big.
Yeah. When they getting this money from sharing it? No, second, we have to be serious. Now you don't have a there is not serious discussion.
Okay, thank you. Let me go back to our guests. And we can't take all the calls. The calls are too many. The news is up next. Let me go to you, Wanted. What do you say about the callers? And you could just conclude and go to Randall Dobayu.
Yeah, Sekou, thank you. To all of the callers to the radio line, we say thank you for your concerns. We say thank you for the development the president have carried on for the past 5 years. What we can say to you is that comes October 10, 2023, President will be elected on the first ballot. I want to say thanks to all of our first-time voters who turned out in the numbers at the party HQ to appreciate the president for paying their wise fees and in continuity to be going to University of Liberia to acquire a quality and high education.
Okay, thank you. Randall, you listen to the callers. What have you to say and as we wrap up?
Thank you. The callers were very receptive. A few of them who were working in last government and I closely related to Joseph Boakai have a disposition, but that's what democracy calls for. We encourage and welcome those comments. But again, we like to, in Anderson, we like to say thanks to all those who came outside in recognition of the president's effort for his, in terms of re-establishing macroeconomic stability after inheriting a weak macroeconomic foundation from Joseph Boakai and his Unity Party. They have come outside and say thank you to President Weah for reforming governance at the Central Bank of Labrador, increasing the credibility and stopping the Central Bank from borrowing. Today's Central Bank on our government doesn't borrow and is trying to reinstill confidence in our exchange market, and of course it has led to rate stability until recently when there's a little fluctuation. And the people have also come outside to recognize that this government has ended the cutting of soldier pay by 20% to support the peacekeeping mission in Mali and repay 1.1 million soldier money that was used by Joseph Boakai and Bernie Samuka. The reason why he did not become senator is because he and Joseph Boakai, they ate the soldier money. These are money that this government has paid for. Those are reasons why people came outside, and these are reasons why President Weah will be re-elected on the first ballot. The police budget has been increased by $3 million and started in 2020 budget year. The fire service, when we came to power in this country, there were I think 2 fire service trucks. As I speak to you, got 10 fire service trucks procured by this government. We've raised the highest amount of domestic revenue and passing the biggest budget ever since the foundation of our country. We brought inflation down from 30% to around 7%. So these are reasons why Liberian came outside. We've also restored the restored dignity of the budget or GSC, giving them more power, to do audit. We've given the NSCC prosecutorial power. These are things that Joseph Boakai and Fair Unity Party did not do. These are fundamental reasons why the people have said thank you to President Weah. And these are well-structured, organized reasons why the people will continuously elect President Weah to keep redeeming this country from the bondage of abject poverty to the oasis of endless prosperity. Thank you very much. God bless you and God bless our nation and God bless President Weah for his great jobs.
And so that's all the time we've got to be on the show tonight. We need to go. We want to say thank you to all of our